And we're live. Skip happens. And hello, CJ Solar.
What is up? Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Hello.
Yeah. So happy that you could join us here tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be talking about you. We're going to be talking about your music. We're going to be talking about your songwriting. And we're going to be talking about whatever else you do in life. And of course, joining us again tonight here on Skip Happens from the official Country Music Fan Club. She is the president and founder. It's Deb Lamphear. And of course, y'all know from the radio and 92.1 The Wolf, of course, and Skip Happens. My name's Skip Clark. You know that. I haven't got to tell you that. But CJ Solar, let's get it started. Where are you? Describe your surroundings for us.
Well, I'm down at my parents' house in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I drove down here yesterday and going to be hanging out for the week. They're in Prairieville, which is an outskirt of Baton Rouge now. They moved out here a couple years ago, and I'm up in their kind of little guest room, just kind of hanging out there downstairs, eating pizza. And I was like, I'm gonna go up. I'll eat some food later.
What is pizza like in Baton Rouge? It can't be as good as New York.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Now I did have some Louisiana food. Some seafood for lunch today. That was pretty awesome. Which I guess New York's got.
Oh yeah, is it Cajun?
Oh yeah, it was Cajun.
Woo, that stuff's hot.
So it was really good. Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend's from Southern Illinois, so I always make fun of whenever we come back here. I'm like, you know, Midwesterners have no clue what this is. They've never tasted anything this good.
No, it is.
As soon as I heard.
I always got to take a jab at the Midwesterners and their bland food, but yeah, I mean the pizza, it's fine. It's definitely no New York pizza, that's for sure.
I love it.
To make a trip to New York.
Yeah, we'll get CJ up here sooner or later. He can have some New York food. Let me ask you: have you been in the Northeast at all, CJ?
Just a little bit over the years, but it's been a minute. We've played a couple shows up in the Northeast. I've gotten to open some shows for Chris Jansen and Gary Allen up that way. Jared Neiman, I think I played with him in upstate New York and New Jersey with Jansen and Gary Allen. But yeah, I love getting up there. A lot of great country music fans.
Oh, there's a lot, and there's a lot of CJ Solar fans. We are playing the new single "Watered Down Whiskey," which is cool. And we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But let's do it a step at a time. Your songwriting, you have written #1 songs. How about "Up Down," Morgan Wallen?
Yeah, man, that's the one. Hopefully, you're gonna get another one here at some point. But yeah, really crazy getting to be a part of that. Such a big song for such an artist who is becoming one of the biggest in the genre. It's really crazy how
he's growing fast and furious.
Yeah, he's taken off. So I mean, I'm really proud to be a part of his climb. Just a very small part, but super proud of that. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's got two things working for him right now. 2 singles at the same time. He Morgan's got 7 Summers out there, and also More Than My Hometown. So it's just
I love them both. It's kind of crazy. I mean,
it's nuts.
I saw this thing the other day where like the Spotify top 200, he has like 5 songs in there, all genres, Spotify top 200. I think Holmes had 1 in there, and there might have been 1 other country song in the top 200 on Spotify, and everything else was like pop and rap and stuff. But just crazy that, I mean, he's just reaching a crazy level of fans. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you toured with him? Or opened for him?
I opened for Morgan a handful of shows right when Up Down came out.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they were pretty small shows. I mean, he started blowing up a little bit after that, but they were fun. They were good times. He was a cool dude. But yeah, I spent a lot of last year opening for Gary Allen and Chris Jansen. But yeah, Morgan, yeah, he's awesome.
Tell me about now. Jameson Rogers has a big hit called "Some Girls," and if you look at the fine print, you'll see that one of the co-writers on that is CJ Solar. And you wrote that with Hardy.
Yeah. So me and Hardy wrote Up Down together too. Yeah. So yeah, man, me and Hardy go way back. We both signed our first publishing deals in 2010, and we met both right at our companies set us up to write, and we've been buddies since. Probably written 100 songs together, and a lot of the tunes that I've released over the years, I've written with him, and yeah, we've had a handful of cuts together, up,
Mhm.
up, down, and some girls being the main two. But yeah, he's a good buddy, and just a crazy. Obviously, he's having just a massive amount of success, and so happy for him. He used to actually play in my band years ago, which is pretty wild. But yeah, I mean, so you know, we were rooting for him to do his own thing
Mhm.
years ago, and so happy that it's taken off for him, because just such a talent.
Mhm.
So
Go ahead, Deb.
I was wondering, when a band member decides that they want to kind of branch off on their own, how does the rest of the band usually take that? Is it usually a positive experience when someone wants to leave?
I guess it depends. Obviously, with Hardy, he was his own songwriter and really his own artist. It was kind of funny. I had another guy playing bass, and me and Hardy were writing a lot of songs together. And I had a bass player that had something come up, and I had some shows that weekend, which this would have been like 5 or 6 years ago.
Mhm.
And he's like, "Hey man, I'm not able to come this weekend. I know you got shows, but I'm not going to be there." And I'm literally writing with Hardy. We wrote like every Wednesday for years, and I'm writing with Hardy on a Wednesday as this guy texts me this, and I'm like, "Dude, you're not going to believe this, but I got to leave like Friday morning to play a show Friday and Saturday night, and I don't have a bass player." And he's like, "How long are the shows?" I was like, like 45 minutes. And he's like, "I'll just play bass for you."
Oh, how cool.
Just a really solid dude. So it was cool getting to have him come out. I mean, we knew that it was a short-term thing. He did it for about 2 years, but yeah, we had a blast hanging out on the road. We got to do all kinds of fun shows, and
Mhm.
yeah, he was great. But he's not a bass player by any means. But you know, we were writing songs every week, and it was just really cool having him do that and come out with me for a while. But it was actually funny. The last show that he played with us, we were playing a casino in Oklahoma, and we were playing like the small bar front thing, lounge type thing. And Florida Georgia Line was playing the next night in the amphitheater that was right next door, and he was already working with them a little bit. And he was like, "Hey guys, do you mind if I just like, when you guys leave tomorrow, if I just stay and write some songs for Georgia Line?" And we were like, "Okay," you know.
Okay.
We started working with them a good bit, and writing with got a lot of the guys in their crew. So that was the last show he played with us. So we kind of joked that, you know, he hopped off out of our van and onto the Florida Georgia Line bus. But yeah, such a great talent, and super stoked for all the success he's having and that we're having together as you know, as a
No, absolutely.
songwriter. So really cool.
You're a good combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to have all those connections too. I mean, everybody stays as friends and everybody kind of goes their separate direction, but you still can call on one another if needed, you know, if needed. So that's kind of cool. And I was on YouTube earlier, and I saw, I think you were just playing with a band a few days ago somewhere. I think somebody recorded it. And is that the regular, are those the regular guys in your band, or?
Yeah, so the regular guys now, we had a hard time getting that. We had a little Facebook Live. We had some buddies, we have some buddies in West Virginia that we've done stuff with, and you know, they've helped us put together music videos and done all kinds of stuff together. And they were like, "Man, you guys got to just come up and, you know, play one of our backyards." So we went up, and some of their buddies had a little campground kind of thing, and we just went over and played in their yard, and they set up, and we played, I think, about an hour and a half.
Cool.
But
Cool.
yeah, it was cool getting to bring the guys out. I think we played together 2 or 3 times since March, so it was cool getting the guys together, and, you know, getting to, you know, just play in public.
I know you say that's one of the few times you've played together, you know, since what, March, when all this stuff happened. Leads me to ask, how has this quarantine, this pandemic, how has this helped you, or how has it hurt you? I know you haven't been able to go out and play the gigs, but has it helped you at all? Is there a good side of this?
Well, I've gotten into the studio a little bit. Been working on new music, which probably would have been doing anyway. But it has been nice to have more time to work on that a little bit. And I picked up an old '80s Honda scooter that I've been riding around my neighborhood quite a lot.
Wear a helmet.
Would not have done that otherwise. Writing on Zoom is not as good.
Productive.
Yeah, it's just weird because there's a delay. So with the, when you're playing guitar and you can't play together at the same time, so you have to kind of take turns talking, and so it's got pluses. You can roll out of bed at 10:55 and be on Zoom by 11 o'clock and working with your buddies, but
and you can be in your pajamas and you don't even have to shower.
So I feel like some people will continue to do that even after all this stuff is over. People at least know that is an option now. It has its, like I said, its pluses and its negatives. But me and my band, we definitely miss playing out on the road. But we've all been able to do some cool stuff. My drummer Nick has got to engineer Marty Stewart's new album.
Oh, nice.
During this pandemic. So Marty Stewart went into the studio, so he got to engineer and mix that album. So really excited for that to come out. And my drummer Nick, who's incredibly talented as a drummer as well as a studio engineer. So really excited for that he got to be a part of that, which had we been on the road a lot, he might not have been able to put as much time into that. So I know he had a blast doing that, and so there's been some cool stuff.
Kind of, we're forced to do things we never thought we would be doing.
For sure.
I mean, it's the same thing with with what I do in radio, and same thing with what Deb has going. We've all learned how to do things differently. Maybe some of it's for the better. Who knows? We've perfected ourselves in certain ways. And then again, we think about, wow, we wish it was back to the way it used to be. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. I gotta ask.
Well, it's been a nice reset, though. That's for sure. We'll be ready to roll, though, come January.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Sure
you guys be looking to get out there and kick some ass. That's in the band. Let's take it back a little bit. How long ago did you move to Nashville?
I moved to Nashville and I said 2010 earlier.
Right.
Okay. That was 2014. I moved to Nashville in 2010.
Gotcha.
So I moved to Nashville in 2010 to go to Belmont University and went as a songwriting major, which people laugh at because it's pretty goofy to go to school for songwriting. But it's in the music business program, so it's a lot of music business classes with a little bit of songwriting thrown in, and really enjoyed it. I ended up doing an internship with a company called Seagale Music.
Oh yeah, okay.
That Brad Paisley is one of the two owners of, and within a couple weeks of interning, they had signed me to a publishing deal, and I've been there since. And so that was 2014, February 2014, that I signed my deal there, and been there ever since. And they've been an awesome company to work with, and super thankful, and gotten to do all kinds of cool stuff. And, they've been really great. Learning how to write with working with some of the amazing writers that work over there. And the connections and all the good stuff. They're great people.
It says a lot to, when you say you've been there since 2014, that says a lot. You talk to a lot of people and they bounce around. They're here for a year. They're over here for a couple of years. They go over there for another year. It says a lot when you've been with one publishing company that long. That's great.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Stapleton wrote Seagale for 14 years.
Wow.
Before he blew up as an artist. So that's how long Chris Stapleton was doing it before he caught a big break. So pretty crazy, but yeah.
That kind of blows my mind how somebody could be a songwriter for so long, knowing that they want to also be on the stage, as a performer, and then it takes so long for them to get there, yet be so successful as a songwriter.
Yeah, I don't. That's usually not the norm. Thank God Chris's talent found a way to break into the mainstream, because there's just so many amazingly talented people who don't get that ability, Don't get that. Oh, Chris is possibly, in the 0.01 percentile of the most talented people in the world when it comes to singing and playing and writing. So, I think it would have been a matter of time before he somehow found a way. But, thank God for Justin Timberlake and the CMA Awards for exposing his talent. I mean, it's so
no, really, yeah.
But, just so amazing.
And he's so humble about it too.
So humble. I've met him a handful of times, and it's just a really nice guy who loves to play music,
And if I'm not mistaken, as a matter of fact, I'm not mistaken because I know for a fact I saw it today. The new single is out by Chris Stapleton, and already we're getting calls for it. So
really,
this is going to be on fire. It's called Starting Over. So
I've listened to it a handful of times.
Yeah, I bet you have. You're way ahead of us. I don't know.
Well, I just look out for the new tunes when they come out. And it's almost like I feel like it's part of my job to just see what everybody's putting out, what the new singles are, what the big artists are releasing, what it sounds like, this style and everything. So try to keep up with it, and just I love music. I love, obviously, especially country music. So it's just always cool to see what other people are working on.
Do you ever compare yourself to other people or no?
I try not to, because I feel like everyone has their own style, and and people pull from different things, and I don't really compare myself to other people. I feel like I'm kind of riding in my own lane, but doing stuff that's in the same wheelhouse as other people. But I feel like I've got my own lane, and I try to just do what I enjoy, and hope that other people like it, and hope that eventually that it'll keep climbing, and this the momentum will just keep riding up slowly but surely. And but yeah, I'm sure that it's hard. I know a lot of people that can be hard on artists comparing their careers to others, but I'm just kind of just doing my own thing and seeing where it leads. And I feel very lucky to have had the success that I've had, and just excited to see where it keeps going.
Oh, you're off to a fantastic, again, I don't want to say start because you've been doing this for such a long time, but you're on a great part of your climb here.
When we play shows out, and people will come up and go, I've never heard of you, and I go, I'm brand new. That's okay. I'm just getting going. It's okay that you've never heard of me. No worries.
There's a reason they've never heard of you, because they don't read the small print. I mean, you're an awesome songwriter, and you've been on some #1 songs, as we talked about a few minutes ago. So that's why they don't, they just hear the music. They don't realize who's on that, actually, who wrote that song, who's behind, the singer, who's behind that, who put it all together.
It is cool when you meet fans out, and they go and the real diehards who do keep up with that stuff, and you if you just say your name, or they see you on a thing, they're like, oh my God, I knew you wrote that song, and seeing you live, really cool. Because some people even might recognize the name, but they won't go look up and see what your original music is like. So always cool having that happen, which
my son follows you, because he was all pumped when I told him that you were going to be on tonight. So I know he's watching somewhere in one of our streams here. Yeah. He's a big follower.
That's cool. Tell us about Watered Down Whiskey, the brand new single.
Watered Down Whiskey. I wrote it right before I went in to record my last EP with my buddy Charlie Berry. And he kind of came in, and he just had that title, Watered Down Whiskey. And I had been playing this riff for a couple days, if not weeks. So I'd been playing that riff with really no ideas or nothing. It was almost just like a warm up kind of riff, because you got to move your fingers a lot to do that. And I thought that title would go with that riff, and we wrote that song super fast. I mean, I feel like it was in about 30 minutes the whole thing had just fallen out, which is really, really pretty quick. And I actually went over and played it for some of the Seagale people, and they're like, man, that's really cool, demo it up. So I demoed it, I think like that week. And then a few weeks later, I was going in record my EP, and that one was a no-brainer. I refer to it as my country power ballad, because it's kind of got that like slow groove kind of thing to it. But yeah, it's been one of my favorites. And we actually, the first time me and the band ever played it live was when we got to make our debut at the Grand Ole Opry last September. So that was really cool. So that was the first time we played it live. We played that and Coming My Way on the Opry, and
one experience.
Yeah, so I'll never. That song holds a really special place for me. It's probably one of the more country songs I've ever put out, and style wise. So I knew I really wanted to do it on the Opry, and when they invited me and were like, pick 2 songs. So yeah, that song is always going to be special.
They won't let you do 3.
Yeah, some people it's random whether you do 2 or 3. I get, being a new artist, I guess you gotta prove yourself with 2 before they let you do 3.
Well,
and it's all about the timing too. They got the show and their commercials and how many artists.
It was crazy. Connie Smith was right before us, and Ricky Skaggs was right after.
Oh my God, talking about in between.
Yeah, 2 Hall of Famers. I was just like, this is wild, but they were all.
And you're backstage with these folks, right? Do you get to talk to them?
We did get to talk to them a little bit. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. My drummer Nick, who had done the Marty stuff, had also worked on some of Connie's new stuff that's going to be new. So he knew her a little bit. So they were talking. It was really cool. She actually introduced us. So that was really cool. But yeah, just crazy.
Backstage at the Opry is an experience. I've done that. I've been backstage at the Opry, and it's really something to see, just to go hang out with the artists and the stars, and just kind of see how everything from behind. It's amazing how all that works. I can't even imagine what the feeling's got to be like when you know that you're being introduced and you're walking out onto that stage as a country artist. As here's a new artist. He's going to sing a couple of tunes for you. And just to make it to that Opry stage is got to be just a feeling like no other.
Man, it really was. Quick backstory. My parents took me to the Grand Ole Opry when I was in middle school on our first trip to Nashville. They were like, oh, we've heard Nashville's cool. Let's go up. So we went to the Opry. And however long ago this was, when I was in middle school. And Blake Shelton, Dirk Bentley, and Brad Paisley were all new artists at the time. And they all 3 were played that night that we went. And I remember watching everyone that was playing, but especially remembering those 3 guys and going, wow, I guess I just hadn't given country music as much of a thought before that. My parents mostly listened to classic rock. We listened to a lot of Leonard Skinner, to Creedence Clearwater Revival, that kind of stuff. And and we were watching that night, and I remember thinking, wow, whatever these guys is doing, I really like it. I want to do this. I had already started playing guitar when I was about 7 or 8 years old.
I was going to ask you when you started. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so watching those guys play that night, especially Brad doing the guitar stuff, really, a crazy moment. Full circle, signing with this company, but.
I was going to say, full circle. Here you are.
Full circle. And so, when I moved to Nashville, pretty much the highest thing on my bucket list was getting to play the Grand Ole Opry. So it was a huge moment. And it's just
that's so cool. That's so cool.
Very nerve wracking. You don't get to sound check or anything because they've got it so dialed you don't need to.
Right.
But it's a little nerve wracking whenever you haven't sound checked by any means. You have I had my pedal board and electric guitar, and they had to have somebody carrying your pedal board. So I just walked out holding my guitar. They plugged it into the amp and went, all right, it works. And they're like, and kind of starts going, all right, it's your turn. And they're like, drummer starts counting. You're just like, oh God. But it went really smooth. As far as I know, we didn't mess up. And yeah.
But you were nervous though a little.
Very nervous. I feel like about 30 seconds in, I was like, okay, everything's going good. You can you know,
You can relax now.
yeah, I can relax a little bit. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well, when you hit that stage, you know you've made it.
Yeah.
Seriously, you know you've made it for the most part. So
well, they treated us like gold. They were so freaking nice. They
Mm.
actually, the closest parking spot to the backstage entrance, they make a metal sign with your name on it when it's your first time. So I mean, they let me take home a metal sign. I was like, first time Grand Ole Opry performer.
That's cool.
So I got that hanging up in my little studio room at my house. And but yeah, I mean, everyone knew. Every person working there that night was like, "Oh, you're CJ, and it's your first time. Congrats!" Just so cool, so nice. Really made you feel welcome and at
We're
home.
talking the actual Grand Ole Opry, the one that's out of town a little bit, right?
Yeah, the one that's over by the mall.
Now, what about the Mother Church, the Ryman Auditorium? Have you been on that stage yet?
Well, you know what's crazy? Literally the week after that, they had the NSAI Awards at the Ryman.
The Ryman.
And Up Down won top 10. So one of the top 10 songs I wish I wrote, voted by all the NSAI members. So they had mostly the songwriters and some of the artists on all of those songs come out and play. A lot of the artists came and played the songs that night. But me, Hardy, and Brad Clausen, who wrote Up Down together, got to play Up Down on that stage. We each took a verse or whatever. And that was my first time getting to play on that stage too. And that was really bucket list too. So that was crazy. Within about a week and a half or so of each other, got to play on both of those stages. And and then like literally as I'm walking off, Jason is walking on to play like what it is. I was like, what is happening? You know, so crazy.
You know, you were able to knock two of those things off the bucket list right away. Bam, bam.
Yeah, it was really wild how those happened. I mean, those were some bucket list shows. The year before that, because that was almost a year after the song had gone number one. The year before that, the week that Up Down went number one in 2018, that summer, I think it was July, we got to spend a couple weekends out opening for Lynyrd Skynyrd. And the first weekend that we were out opening for Skynyrd, Up Down went number one. And I was like, this is crazy. We're opening for Skynyrd, have a number one song. I name drop Freebird in the freaking song that is number one as we were opening for Skynyrd. So I couldn't wait to play that song. And as we were opening for Skynyrd, I had to say a little something before we played the song. I was like, this is crazy. We obviously didn't, while we were opening for Skynyrd, we didn't do it. But there's a part at the end of the song where it's like, we hold down here in BFE, still rolling around with a burnt CD. Freebird, 5 minutes, head bobbing, and we go into a little bit of Freebird when we do it live now because it's just too cool, and it just brings back those memories again.
Oh my God!
Getting to open for Skynyrd the week that the song went number one, it's just too freaking cool.
Bam, man! I tell you, dude, you're like knocking it out of the ballpark here.
He's on fire for sure.
Well,
yeah. Is there anything else left on your bucket list?
I know.
I mean, I guess really it would just be having a number one song, as an artist, is one of the few things left. I mean, I feel like I'm still super early and have gotten really lucky to have been able to scratch a bunch of those things off of the bucket list. But yeah,
your list of accomplishments at your age is phenomenal. The songwriting credits, the music that you have on the radio, dude, you're only in your middle 20s. You're kicking ass. I mean, just, I've got it all right here on a piece of paper and it's like,
this, oh my God, you're a baby yet.
Yeah, just a baby.
Just a baby.
Bearded baby.
There you go.
Oh.
Let me ask you, you got siblings?
I have an older sister and 2 younger brothers who are twins.
Oh, wow. Now, are they musicians or are you the only one in the family?
My little brothers and I played music together growing up, but when I moved to Nashville, they kind of laid it down and decided they were gonna go a different route. So I'm the only one that plays anymore. You know, and they were pretty good. It was kind of a bummer that they don't play anymore, but I knew as soon as I started playing music that it was all I wanted to do. It was kind of when I was 7 or 8 years old and I started playing guitar, I was just like, especially once we took that Grand Ole Opry trip, because before that I was like, where are the new bands playing Leonard Skinner type music? And you know, my parents are like, I don't know. And then going in that, sing country music, hearing country music, diving in, you know, I became a huge Montgomery Gentry, Gary Allen, all those guys, especially a lot of the gritty stuff, Jason Aldean, and then later Eric Church, and a lot of those guys, all the music they were making, I was just like, this is exactly what I want to do. So I just really, really dove in, and yeah, but
well, you're doing it, dude.
I think on that,
they didn't have that same fire.
It's crazy.
On that note, we should hear at least a song now.
Yes.
You want me to play a little something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We'll let you decide what you want to play.
Well, I can do Watered Down Whiskey since we talked about it a little bit.
That'd be great.
Should have tuned it before I came up here, but it is close.
Sounds great to me.
Yes.
The ice in this glass seems to melt way too fast these nights. Yeah, the buzz never lasts, and I'm still chasing what I had but can't find. 'Cause you know when it's good, and you know when it's cheap, but I'll take what I can get when I can't get what I need. Darling, loving you is like drinking the good stuff, and when you've had the best, the rest ain't strong enough. Try to move on, but every last call it hits me. Everything but you is watered down whiskey, yeah. At every spot in town, shut all the bars down, and if I'm lucky, I'm lost in a perfume, and even though she ain't you, it's something. When the morning light comes, she'll take me back to my truck, and I think to myself, how long can I keep this up? Darling, loving you is like drinking the good stuff, and when you've had the best, the rest ain't strong enough. Try to move on, but every last calling hits me. Everything but you is watered down whiskey. 'Cause you know when it's good, you know when it's cheap, but I'll take what I can get when I can't get what I need. Darling, loving you is like drinking the good stuff, and when you've had the best, the rest ain't strong enough. Try to move on, every last calling hits me. Everything but you is watered down whiskey.
Yeah. Dang.
That's awesome.
Dang.
That's the one you said you wrote like really quick, right?
Yeah, I wrote that one pretty quick with
my
Carly Berry. Yeah, right before we recorded that last EP.
Yeah, you know, it does. It amazes me, and I know it amazes Deb, that the fact that these songs that come out that are so good and they have the potential to, you know, climb that ladder rather quickly. were written in such a short period of time. I mean, we talked to other singers and songwriters. Yeah, I wrote that one. It took me 45 minutes. I'm like, dude, it's like top 20 already.
Life. Yeah, you just never know. I mean, you know, when an idea hits, you just write, and you know exactly how to write it, and you've already written, you know, 1,000 songs in your life, so you just kind of, you know, you kind of got it figured out just a little bit, and the inspiration hits you just right, and you know they just fall out sometimes.
As a songwriter, how does your mind work? Are you constantly just looking at things, reading signs, just kind of very observant to everything that's going on, and that's where you gather all your ideas?
I try to be as much as possible.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I end up letting things slip. Sometimes, like, my drummer or my girlfriend would be like, "Did you hear what they just said?" And I was like, "You know what? That could be a song idea." You know, I gotta keep my ears, you know, my eyes and ears open for ideas, and a lot of times just random things will just hit me, or I'll start mumbling something and go, "What is that? I don't think that's anything. Let me jot that down." You know.
Yeah.
So it's totally totally random, but
Hit voice record on your phone and just whatever you're thinking.
go to town. Sometimes you listen to them later and you're like, "Oh, what?
Now, what was I thinking?"
Delete." But
Or what was I drinking? What was I thinking?
yeah.
So with Some Girls, was that your inspiration, or was that one of the co-writer inspirations?
So Hardy had just gotten out of a relationship and had a girl who was kind of continually bugging him. That, you know, after they had broke up, and he's like, "Man, this girl just won't leave it alone." You know, she was like, she was the one. It was like a long. She was from his hometown. She didn't like the whole long distance relationship thing, so she was kind of the one who would call it off, but then, you know, would keep, you know, calling him back and kind of coming back, and you know, he had that kind of, you know, "Man, she just ain't making it easy on me" kind of thing, and that's kind of where
there you go.
that's kind of where that
came
from. And our buddy Jake that we wrote it with had, you know, that little chord progression, and it just kind of started falling out. I don't think that one was a 30-minute, or that one was probably more of a 3-hour, but you know,
it's still a quick write in my eyes.
Yeah. Hardy Hardy can thank her for, you know, writing a number.
I'm sure. You know, it's funny actually, and I don't know if you heard in the music video, in Jameson's music video, I believe a phone lights up somewhere in the music video with that girl's name on it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's just her birthday, but yeah, I just a little nugget there. I think.
I like that.
He knew that story too, so I think he had that name in there, which is kind of hilarious.
A few little personal touches.
I'm not sure how much they wanted that out there, but yeah, it's in the music video, which is pretty fun.
That's awesome, though, because nobody's going to get that except really you guys.
No, not at all. So, maybe her.
Maybe her if she's watching, but
I think already like gotten married and had kids since then, so that was a couple years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, but when I get off tonight, I'm gonna have to pull up the video and take a look.
Yeah, definitely.
When we get off the podcast.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Do you have a favorite cover song you like to do? Is there something that is like your go-to? I know you have your own music, but is there something, you know, it's something that you really get into?
I mean, I have a ton that I love. I don't know if I have a.
Okay, that's all right. That's fair. I get it.
Yeah, I got some random songs I'll sound check with. I'll do "Old Man" by Neil Young. That's a sound check song.
Oh, gosh, okay.
A bunch of different Skinner tunes. I'll do "Whipping Post" by.
Oh my God, what a great.
We do that with the band a lot. Yeah, I don't know. "Long Hair Country Boy," Charlie Daniels. That's the favorite. Yeah, we actually did an in studio version of that that we that we released a couple years ago, actually. That one's always definitely one of the favorites. Yeah.
Awesome. I could see you doing that stuff. I could, you know.
Yeah, the long hair country boy thing just it just happens to work.
Well, not because of that, but I'm just saying, you know. So
yeah,
it's his personality.
Yeah, exactly. CJ Solar's who we're chatting with tonight, and we're not going to keep you much longer here, my friend. I know your time is precious, but thank you for at least, you know, coming on with us. And single, and we found out a little bit about you. And do you mind if we find out a little bit more? I got
come on, dude, bring it on.
You ready for these questions?
Lay it on me, dude.
Oh boy,
here we go.
You could be in trouble.
I love
favorite drink to fill your solo cup?
Oh man, I don't drink a whole lot anymore, but it used to be Jameson and Coke. I like Jameson was my whiskey of choice, but I don't drink too much anymore, and I'm trying to drink less Coke too.
Good for you.
Try to just be healthier. I have terrible genes, but I'm trying to not die when I'm like 35, you know. So I'm like, I got to take it easy. But
all right, another one. Do you like long beard or cleaned up?
I like my beard kind of cleaned up, but I envy the guys that have the beards that look good long, because mine just is like a bush. Like it's so thick that it's like, I love the ZZ Top beard look where it's kind of almost stringier. I hate
right.
But mine is just a freaking bush, and it's like, it's just once it gets too long, I have to like trim it, but then it's so thick that it's like, it's just too thick, and I prefer to
be all gray. Mine would be all gray. That's why I got rid of all that stuff. Be like I look like.
He's got a long ways to go.
Yeah, I got a couple grays in there.
Well, you need to pull those babies out.
I do.
You have the Jordan Davis beard.
Jordan Davis his beard is thick. He's a Louisiana boy.
Oh yeah, I know, and he's got that beard.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. What's your most prized possession?
Oh man, I have.
Making you think.
I immediately went to guitars. I have so many guitars. I used to buy and sell guitars all the time. I have a 1967 Gibson Trini Lopez that is signed by some of the guys from Blackberry Smoke.
Oh wow, yeah, cool.
Those guys. And it's been my go-to guitar for the probably the last 5 or 6 years, ever since I bought it. And I would probably say it's my most prized possession, just because I love playing that guitar live.
It's who you are, and I would expect that answer, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't really have much else.
One thing you avoid at catering.
Avoid in catering. Usually
catering. Yeah, like backstage. What's one thing you avoid?
So I have a funny story. This is actually a hilarious story.
We're ready.
So a couple years ago, there's this big festival, country music festival called Rock the South down in Coleman, Alabama. And this was back when Hardy was playing with me. And we were the first act of the day. Florida Georgia Line was actually playing at the end of that night. And this was before Hardy had really gotten to in with them. And they were like, hey, catering's from like 11 to 1. And then it doesn't for dinner start back until like 5. And we were like, oh, well, we're hanging out all day. And of course we want free lunch. And we played at like noon. And we were like, well, by the time, or like 12:30, we're like, well, if we wait till after we play, lunch catering's going to be gone. And we're broke, and we're not trying to go out and buy our own hot dogs out in the parking lot.
Right.
So of course, this being in Alabama, we go and we load up. We're eating like mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, pulled pork. You know, we were going to town. So me and Hardy and my drummer Nick ate full plates, and so we only had like a 20-minute set or something. And it was right when the festival was first start. It was like the doors had just opened. There was almost nobody in there yet. But we get about halfway through the first song, and I just feel it. I feel it coming up.
I know it.
Oh no!
It gets into there, and I have to swallow it. Like I throw up.
Oh my God!
Hardy, on the last note of the last song, runs over to the back of the stage and throws up off the back of the stage.
Oh my God!
We learned a lesson, right?
Yeah, which we had a great time. It was a fun show, but we learned Do not eat before it. For me, it's at least 2, if not 3 hours before going on stage. Don't eat, because when you're running around, and that was like 100 degree. It was like 100.
Oh my God.
So, you know, just a belly full of mac and cheese, pulled pork, mashed potatoes, running around on stage, you know, get people riled up and rocking. I was like, oh God.
You sure there wasn't some food poisoning or something in there? We're the only ones that.
I think it has.
I don't think it was food poisoning, because we
were around in the 100-degree heat, and you learn a lot from that way. So let me see here. I got a whole list that I usually have. All right, what sounds fun to you right now?
Oh man, I don't know. Well, here I'm just gonna let you guys know. So the next 2 nights, I have a lot of buddies who farm around this area and north and up to Baton Rouge, up to Mississippi. And part of the reason I came down early was because we have a big hog problem down here, and we will go and hunt these hogs.
Hunt. I knew you were going to say that.
You know, I skipped over the question because I have turkey, duck, or deer hunt.
I'm gonna go. I would cry. Well.
So now we know what the answer is.
Yeah, I mean, hog is out of those. I would probably say deer, but hog.
Right.
There's so many. There's such a huge problem. They really devastate the crops that these farm. I mean, I'm like, it's crazy the amount of damage and loss of revenue that these farmers can experience.
Right.
From the hog damage. So I have some buddies who are farmers, and they will go ride around and shoot them at. I know it sounds crazy, but
they're so cute, though. They really are cute.
They're big and nasty. Some of them.
I don't know where you see cute, Deb. I'm just not getting that.
Little pot-belly farm pigs are cute, but these are not cute. I mean,
really
have big tusks and long hair.
They're pretty ugly.
Oh, then I must not be thinking of the same thing. What do we have here? Those little groundhog things that we see running around.
Deb, forget it. You're in the wrong.
Groundhogs. Yeah, these are full-grown. These are pigs, and they're just
wild. I'm
I'm
in like a whole different animal then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, large.
Our little groundhogs are cute.
They're part of the pig family, I believe, but they have the tusk. They have they're just ugly to look at, and they must raise hell with the farmers.
They really do. They can. An adult hog can root up like a half acre of crops a night, and
really.
Yeah, and there's tens of thousands of them just in Louisiana alone. And I mean, they're everywhere. I mean, we'll drive around, and you'll walk into a field, and there'll be 30 or 40 of them just all eating in this field, and they root it up, they ruin the soil, and they're really a big problem, you know. But so anyway, I have farmer buddies who I know that go out and hunt them, and you do it at nighttime, and it's because they're smart enough to know to not come out until night.
Careful. We need be careful.
It's pretty crazy, but it's something that I've gotten into over the last couple of years. But
that's cool. All right, I'll give you 1 or 2 more, and then we're gonna let you go.
Okay.
What's the most adventurous thing you've ever done that your parents don't know about?
Oh man, well they're watching this.
Okay. Well, would you like me?
I don't know. I mean, that they don't know about. I mean, they know a lot. I'm pretty open with them.
I'm gonna see the door open behind you, and your dad's gonna come in. So you did.
They start strangling me, like you, Brett.
I know it.
I don't know. I really don't done anything too crazy that they don't know about. They definitely. I bought this scooter at the beginning of quarantine and ride it around my neighborhood. And every time I tell them I'm going to ride it, they're like, "You really shouldn't be out doing that." I'm like, just wait till I get like a real dirt bike or something.
Just wait. You haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah. Just wait. You haven't seen nothing yet. So.
Right. I've always wanted a new bike. Well, I've never had one, but I wanted to get like a Sportster or something like that. Yeah. My wife said, "You pull in the driveway, right in the driveway on something like that. You might just as well turn around and
just keep going.
Just keep going."
Yeah, man.
Needless to say, the next day I came home with no. I'm just kidding. What's the first word that comes to mind?
The first word that comes to mind.
Bingo. What is it right now?
Fun.
There you go.
I don't know why.
That's why you're CJ.
We're having fun. We're having fun.
Right. We're having fun. What's the name of this podcast?
Skip Happens.
There you go. CJ Solar, you're awesome. Hey.
You passed the test, CJ.
Yeah. Well, man, I was having a blast. I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Tell us your website, socials. Somebody wants to get a hold of your music. How can we help you out there? Do you have merchandise?
Yeah, I've got, all my music is anywhere you find music. I do on my website, cjsolar.com, have physical CDs that I always sign when I mail them out. I got t-shirts, koozies, all that good stuff. You can find I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Those are the main ones that I'm using. I've made like 3 TikTok videos. I haven't really learned how to do that one too well yet, but I'm always on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. So cool. Yeah, come find me.
Very cool.
Have you had any word of when you might be able to start performing again live?
I mean, it's just because it's so different based on each area. I do have, I think, possibly, 1 or 2 small shows, and a lot of them are private in October or November. But I've had some that will cancel. They think that you might be able to do it, and then they just go, nah, it's not right. So. I'm thinking next year, fortunately, because I tour on a pretty small level, clubs and stuff. The opening for the big artists won't be happening, which I normally get to do a lot of. But there's just so much more risk because they play bigger venues and pile more people into their shows. So playing little clubs and stuff, hopefully we'll start back next year. But I really don't know, but I'm just kind of waiting on the word, especially from my booking agent, who they don't make money when we're not playing shows, so they're trying to get us back as soon as possible. And my band guys, I mean, that's a big chunk of their income is playing with me. So, especially for their sake, I want to be gigging to keep those guys making money.
Do you drink coffee?
You know what? I really don't like coffee.
You drink anything out of a mug?
I occasionally drink stuff out of mugs. Oh,
we'll send you a Skip Happens mug. So when we get done tonight, at least you can put it on your mantle.
That looks like a big mug. I have a lot of mugs, actually. I drink plenty out of mugs, and I would be ecstatic to add that to the mug.
So when we say goodbye tonight, you just stay right there. All right. And if for some reason you click off, just come back on. We'll be waiting for you. But we do want to say thank you, CJ Solar, for joining us here on Skip Happens tonight. We found a lot out about you. Just a great artist, great songwriter. I added another grade in there for songwriting. But it's all good. I mean, songwriting is where you're making your money. Let's just face it. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm still able to write songs with everything that's going on right now. So that has been a nice silver lining, and having Some Girls Be on the Radio right now has been an extra special silver lining to this whole time period. So very fortunate for that, and gonna keep trying to do all the stuff.
Good stuff. Jameson Rogers with Some Girls. I do a feature real quick before we let you go. I know it's getting late here. Deb's going to get mad if I carry this on too much longer. She's looking at her clock right now. I just saw her look up. I do.
I worry about the artist.
I do a feature called a skip pick, and I take a new song whenever it comes out, and I call it my skip pick. So every time I play it on my shift, I will say, "This is my skip pick for this time around." Okay. And Jameson Rogers, Some Girls, was my skip pick. I saw that you had written it with Hardy.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I said, "This is my skip pick. This song's going to go to number 1. Not only is it a great artist, but it's got a great songwriter on it too." And
well, thank you. Well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it can ring that bell.
It's going to.
A couple weeks. We'll see. Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed.
Absolutely.
If only to prove you right with the skip pick.
There you go. Yeah, the skip pick is good. And you can smile all the way to the mailbox when you get that envelope. No, that's all good.
Then I'll have to get me a dirt bike or something.
There you go. It'll help. It's a little down payment for it or whatever. I don't know. I don't go there. That's not my business. But anyways, CJ Solar, you're awesome, my friend. Thank you for joining Deb and I here tonight. And Deb with the Country Music Fan Club. And of course, me with 92.1 The Wolf and Skip Happens. You're pretty awesome, my friend. Just keep doing what you're doing. Stay safe. Enjoy your hog hunt.
Thanks. You guys are awesome. I've had a blast hanging and hope you guys have a good rest of the week.
Yeah, same to you. And travel. When you heading back to Nashville?
Well, I have a wedding back here on Friday, so that's actually the real reason that I came down here.
I thought it was the hog hunting.
Well, the hog hunting they go hand in hand. I can't come back home without a little hog hunting.
Yeah.
And then I'm going with my parents, and my girlfriend's here too. We're going with my parents to the beach next week.
Sweet.
Which they had a house rented because we were supposed to be playing Pepsi Gulf Coast Jam and opening for Skinnerd this week. So they had it for this weekend, and then throughout the next week, the show obviously is canceled. They just said, well, why don't we still go? We already booked time off. So
why not?
We're still going. But yeah, so I won't be back in Nashville for about 2 weeks.
All right, my friend.
I tell you, when we get the chance to see you live, when either you're in our area or if we can catch you in Nashville, we will definitely be there.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And we have seen you at I know at the Music Row Awards early in the morning or whatever time that was. Plus, I see you at breakfast there at the little breakfast they put on.
Yeah, I look forward to that every year.
Yeah. No, you don't. It's too early.
It is early. Why do they do that to us?
I know. And why not only us, but why do they do that to the artists when they know that the artists, their day is like the other end of our day?
Yeah.
You think about
it. It's like
crazy. But you got to do what you got to do. We get it.
I know.
It's a good time.
We just don't sleep. That's all.
That's all. All right. CJ, you're the best. Peace out, buddy. Thanks for joining us here tonight.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah. Stay right there, my friend. All right. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.